Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Football New South Wales coverage of the blah blah blah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Night Football here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. It's a catch-up game from Petermore Field in Belmore, Sydney Olympic versus Football New South Wales Institute. Eric Subihano here, loving this, shall we say, intimate filming position almost by the fence as we wait to see two talented teams kick off in a game that was scheduled for, I believe, quite some time ago, but due to the challenging weather, shall we say, that we have faced this year, it's been a tricky time in scheduling for both our state competitions and the local competitions, but at least the weather has behaved itself this week, so Petermore is fit for purpose. There's the whistle from the referee, Sean Lacey. Away we go. I'll go through the two team lineups, I think, at the appropriate break and play, but shout out to the other two officials. The assistant nearest to us, Isaac Riggs, the assistant on the far side, as Institute put the pressure on early, is Marcus Gier. For Sydney Olympic, we're looking to use games in hand such as this one we're seeing right in front of us. They're in the mix of a absolutely frenetic race for both the Premiership and the top four final series. They are 6 points as the ball hits Sean Lacey, 6 points behind the league leaders RP Leichhardt, but with 3 games in hand. So Sydney Olympic very much in the mix for trophies and postseason play, as here's Taylor Ray, who we assume will get many touches on the ball in this game. Lacey bowling, and back to Gabrielle Peak. I'd like to thank Gabrielle for wearing those long sleeves. That'll make her a little bit easier to pick out this evening. But now Tara Baldana, and the killer ball, and there's good speed down the left-hand side. Could be an early chance. It's saved by Jasmine Black. So I think we might start with the Institute lineup because their keeper Jasmine Black is on the ball. She's got number 55. The others are number 38, Amelia Bennett, number 45, Michaela Duong, number 48, Alvina Kashaba, number 54, the captain Kaylee Talon-Henniker, number 61, Annabella Keep, number 63, Xantha Juric, number 65, Christina Kacic, number 71, Adelaide Wyszynski, number 72, Anita Zordan, and number 73, Lillian Skelly. If you are a very avid A-League Women fan, you might have recognized a couple of those names. Sydney FC's, I believe, third choice keeper from their championship winning A-League Women's season, Jasmine Black. She's in goal right now, as is the player some people in the media call the Fig Tree Flyer, Kaylee Talon-Henniker, as there's an early ball chased by Lacey bowling. Decent ball into the box, and it could be a chance for Olympic. Kulazakis is in there. Lays it off, and the second shot, well, there won't be a second shot, and there won't even be a corner because the touch is well played off an Olympic boot for a goal kick. But yes, as I was saying, Jasmine Black and Kaylee Talon-Henniker, part of Sydney FC's A-League Women's Championship win side, and Lillian Skelly spent the last A-League Women's season with Canberra United. So for Sydney Olympic, in goal for them, it's a player who moved in the mid-season registration window from Blacktown City. That is number 20, Anna Ivanovic. A hold that thought as bowling goes on another run before it's cleared. But yes, Anna Ivanovic in the Olympic goal. She's number 20. Playing the ball forward right now is number 2, Gabrielle Peak. Then number 3, Ebony McHugh-Shaw. Number 4, Aya Yamahata. Number 6, Lacey Bowling. Number 8, the captain, Brianna Oliverio. Number 9, Demi Kulazakis. Number 13, Tara Baldana. Number 25, Priya Suriyaga. Number 27, Taylor Ray, and number 29, Helena Molesky. So, looking at how they've set up, I mean, looks like roughly Olympic in a familiar shape to every other time I've seen them this season, with 3 at the back, 4 across the midfield, and 3 up front. Although the wide players, or the widest of the players, Bowling and Oliverio, expect them to drop alongside the back 3 when necessary, as Yamahata steps out of the back and forward to Suriaga. Now, as another one, I think, from Oliverio. Deflection, Molesky chasing this. Blacks off a line well. And a good command of the penalty area from the Manly Vale junior. In fact, after, I think, because I do know the officials are mic'd up tonight, so perhaps a word in the ear of the ref, Sean Lacey. That will, in fact, be an Institute free kick, I think, for some contact initiated by Molesky. So the 2 sets of substitutes out there as Kashaba plays the ball forward, snapped up by Gabrielle Peak. And good tackle on Kulazakis there. And Institute would be well advised to shut down Demi Kulazakis at every opportunity she scored. She's well past the double-figure mark for this season, having a great campaign, Demi Koulazakis. As Ray scoops one forward towards Siriaga. Olympic attacking the left side for Institute. Stepping in there, but only goes as far as McHugh Shaw, right in front of, I think that's the Olympic technical area. Back to Ray, and Ray, nice diagonal pass. So Lacey Bowling forward once more. Delivers, that's flat, straight at Jasmine Black. Olympic substitutes, they are Maya Fernandez, Rochelle Borromeo, Maxine Peake, Natalia Yanakos, Jamie Dallacamina, and last but certainly not least, I'm absolutely loving seeing this player back on a team sheet because she's actually done commentary for Football New South Wales. Welcome back to playing for Megan Grew. Olympic are coached by Jeff Abrahams, who's done a very fine job in his first season in charge of the Sydney Olympic women's first grade side. As that stopped, I think, by McHugh Shaw right in front of the Institute bench. Institute subs, by the way, the backup keeper would be Sophia Fante, and the others are Laura Nada, who's back from suspension, as well as Chiara Bonora, Amelia Casa, and Tiana Fuller. Ivanovic now, as Olympic try to build from the back. Peake, now Ray. Nice 1-2, and it's Peake's first time to have a bit of an adventure. Nice first time ball from Koulazakis, and now she'll chase this one, as will Koshaba, and Koshaba opting for the safe option. Sydney Olympic did mention the weather affecting the scheduling of basically football at all levels in New South Wales. They were victims, as I'm going to keep an eye on that ball just to make sure it doesn't threaten myself or tonight's camera operator Nicholas. But so Olympic were the victims of the weather. On the weekend, their game was meant to be the match of the round against Northwest Sydney Spirits. It was washed out. This particular field deemed to be unplayable, so it will be another midweek outing sometime in the future. Sydney Olympic hosting the women from the Arctic Circle, as we like to call Spirits home ground here in the Football New South Wales media team. Annabella Keep look over the shoulder and then easily watching the ball go over the byline. For Institute, they were in action on the weekend, but it was a tough encounter against the Queens of the Northern Beaches, Manly United, losing by 6-1. And Manly United, formerly a league leader in this competition, led it for about 5 weeks or so, if memory serves me correctly. And I think they're actually in the bottom half of the table, but still Manly United not too far away from fourth spot. Does show how competitive it has been at the top of NPL Women's this campaign. Cutting inside is Skelly. And then tracking back, Suriaga, preventing the ball from getting to Bennett. Koulazakis can turn, and she's got the signal from Molesky. And it's intercepted, and the Institute backline doing a good job on that occasion. As Skelly plays it forward, can't link up with a teammate. Also have, concurrently to this one, a game from, as Koshaba heads that into the fence, a game from what I like to call the greatest cup competition in the world, the Sapphire Cup. It's Northern Tigers versus Gladesville Ravens. That was a 6:45 p.m. kickoff this evening at North Taramara Recreation Area. As Black slams it into Molesky and gets somewhat fortunate with the bounce. It goes straight into her gloves, but Molesky's looked lively early on up front for Olympic. And that was a little warning sign for the kids from Institute. Back to tonight's Sapphire Cup tie at North Taramara Recreation Area. Northern Tigers versus Gladesville Ravens, and I actually have utilized my contacts. I not streamed, of course, that game, but am getting as many updates as I can. We heard 0-0 after 35 minutes between Tigers and Ravens. And Ravens have apparently hit the crossbar in that game as Duong goes sideways in the center circle. I think that's Bennett losing out. So, North Taramara Recreation Area, the venue for the Sapphire Cup game tonight. We call that NTRA for obvious reasons, although on this occasion, NTRA does also stand for North Taramara Reporting Assistant. So, thanks to my friend Dean for being so helpful and helping us out in his free time. Ball played out on the far side to Talon Henniker. She wins the throw off McHugh Shaw. Now, Sean Lacey just making sure the throw-in is taken from where he wants to take it, and we'll get back underway. We'll do our best to see, to try and call things on the far side of the field as Yamahata is away. Won't get to this first, and it's low, but into the fence, goal kick. Yeah, it can be difficult, yes. Just a reminder to all the folks watching at home, and we certainly hope you're warmer than we are here at Peter Moore as the camera zooms in, but my eyes do not. Let me put it this way, we can see our own breath tonight, so yes. I hope you've got yourself a cup of hot chocolate or maybe a warm soup, whatever it is to make you a little bit more comfortable while you watch this game. Good first touch from Molesky. Possibly the support from Bowling. She moves infield, back to Ray, and Ray keeping it alive now. Gabrielle Peak. Baldana. That's Oliverio, the Olympic captain. And Koulizakis. The bounce favors Taylor Ray, and this is what Sydney Olympic will need to do, because Institute, they'll need to be patient. Institute being very well disciplined there. It's an initial incursion from Molesky there, but they kept their shape. Although now there could be some pressure as Oliverio. Can she keep that in play? And she can. The dummy there, I think, and first time into the middle, Molesky's lunging, and she couldn't have been too far away from that one. It was a great cross. Molesky had escaped those in light blue jerseys. Couldn't make telling contact. And although I do love a good away kit, it's good to see traditional colours for both teams, as Sydney Olympic in the dark blue with the white pinstriping, I think we'll call that. Institute in the light blue, of course. If they're Football New South Wales Institute, they're in the traditional representative colours of the state of New South Wales. That makes sense. 12 minutes played here at Peter Moore Field. 0-0 between Sydney Olympic and Football New South Wales Institute. I certainly hope you're enjoying your Thursday night. Challenge beaten on the left side now. Interesting cross there, and not cleared at the first time, but very much cleared at the second time of asking by Institute. Yamahata from way out, and that's not going to dip in time. Jasmine Black not too bothered. It hits the food truck behind the Institute goal. Those of you who've known me for a long time, I do certainly love eating food at football grounds. Yes, I am very, very sad that that food truck is not operational this evening. Keep providing the short option from the goal kick now forward, and now is Duong. Back to Skelly, and then a little bit of an awkward touch. And it was a nice idea by Duong holding it up so that Skelly could make the wraparound run. And Duong and Skelly, two players who've played for the Junior Matildas, the Australia Under-17 team. And of course, the Australia Under-20 team was in action earlier today. There's Skelly with another nice round on the left-hand side. Could be promising for Institute, and Gabrielle Peak in close attendance. Now, decent ball into the middle. I think that's Bennett. She goes back to Duong. Now, Skelly again, and she delivers. Cross is blocked. Now, first, attempted clearance more sideways than forward, and Duong again. So this is nice from Institute. And that'll please their coach, Lisa Warrener. But then, a little bit of a commentator's curse. That thing never goes away. Sorry, Institute. Their move breaks down. Molesky goes crowded out, although Suriaga's going to try and make something of it. Anyway, putting Juric under pressure. And now another run from Oliverio down the far side. It's cleared. Olympic will take the throw-in. Yeah. Speaking of Australian youth national teams, the young Matildas, Australia Under-20s, they were in action at Jerry Collins Stadium in Porirua, New Zealand. A 1-1 draw with the New Zealand Under-20 team. And we love seeing a goal on debut, no matter what the level. So massive congratulations to Tanae Collins, who scored a second-half equaliser for the young Matildas and earned them that 1-1 draw. And it was nice to see the stream on the Football Australia YouTube page of that game, as Lacey Bowling, well, she's won the free kick, I think. There was a bit of a push, but it's been called for the initial short tug by Alvina Kashaba. Oh dear. And Ray gets us back underway. There's Ray again. Gabriel Peak. Yamahata. Pocket of space for Baudana. And Baudana lifting it over the back line. Annabella Keep getting the foot in there. That's a good tackle from McHugh Shaw. And actually, speaking of debut goals, that reminds me, Kaylee Talon-Henniker, one of the select few to score on her A-League women debut. She did that in, of all places, a derby. The derby away to Western Sydney Wanderers. She was playing for Sydney FC over the summer season. And then, as that goes out for an institute throw, Kelly Talon-Henniker has already, already attracted a lot of attention for her direct running down the flank. This is her second season at Institute after moving to Institute from South Coast Flame of League One Women's. And so if we go back to that passage of play, McHugh Shaw defending very smartly by not letting Kaylee Talon-Henniker turn, because let me tell you, once she turns, good luck catching up with her. Yamahata. Now Baudana, another former League One women's player. By the way, Baudana, formerly of SD Raiders. There's a few what I like to call League One women's alumni out there this evening. Here's another one, Lacey Bowling, formerly of Sutherland Shire FA, before they changed their name to Sutherland Strikers. But she's quick, but no one would have been quick enough to keep that ball in play. Ball, and Suraga started to sprint but then realized she wasn't going to catch up to it. Of course, this is, I mentioned the games in hand, and this being one of 3 catch-up games that Sydney Olympic have to play. So over the remainder of the season, which the final round on the 25th of August, so less than 2 months away, certainly it will be a challenge for Jeff Abrahams and the Sydney Olympic coaching staff as to how they manage their squad, because rotation would be pretty much a must for them to avoid running out of legs kind of in the final month of the season. Good tackle from Bowling there. And it's an interesting battle developing on the near side between her and Alvina Kashaba, as Kashaba under pressure again. Sean Lacey sees nothing wrong. Vocal in his directions, telling the players to keep going. Mleski dropping a little bit deeper out to Kulizakis, who's drifted to the right flank, and it's a good ball for Bowling. And Bowling, good body strength, lays it off. Kulizakis, and unfortunately she lost her balance just as she hit it. So skies the shot, but that was a nice move from Sydney Olympic. Lacey Bowling, I think, would have thought that she might have had a shooting opportunity herself. That didn't work out. It was good awareness to find Kulizakis, who'd run into the box. And unfortunately, from an Olympic perspective, the shot has gone astray. Oliverio, left-hand side. Another test, which Juric, Institute right back, is equal to. And Institute defending the throw-in. I think that's Juric again. Looking for a team at Institute, of course. Hardly going to be trained to be a long ball team, so they'll try and play out from the back, and at least they've got past the first phase of the press as Kashaba plays it forward. Yamahata there, then Kashaba, nice drop of the shoulder to get by some time. Aiming for Wyszynski. Wyszynski's turned Yamahata. The second offender was Mikushaw, and that's a good example of team defending there, because one defender was bypassed for a little moment there, but Mikushaw round on the cover with a very clean tackle. That's the action certainly coming thick and fast here in NPL or Women's New South Wales for the 2024 season. And there's Yamahata blocking the shot on the edge of the box. Now Taylor Ray, and Ray always has that great passing vision, and well, this might work out inadvertently for bowling. So now Koulizakis. And Koulizakis trying to return the favor. It's stopped. Skelly. Skelly, Yamahata's involved again. She read that very nicely. Centre back's going to join the attack here, although she might need to rush back. It's Institute on the ball with Amelia Bennett. Tackle there from Oliverio. I might try kind of course, if you're a regular watcher of the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, especially if you're watching this one, surely you'll be aware that, of course, all the NPL women's games are available at the live tab on our YouTube page. I might just drip feed you Sunday's action from this wonderful competition. So, first match I'll talk about is the 4:40 p.m. kickoff on Sunday, the 14th of July, Bastille Day, by the way. Wishing an early happy Bastille Day to all our French friends who may be watching. Of course, this is YouTube, so you can watch this anywhere in the world. 4:40 p.m. on Sunday from an outrageously cold venue, Northbridge Oval. It's Bulls FC Academy versus Northwest Sydney Spirit. Spirit, the team they call the Arctic Circle home, at least they'll be used to the cold that they will inevitably suffer at, or have to experience at Northbridge on Sunday. It should be a good game, especially with more than half the league still in the finals race. Now, right-hand side with Talon Henniker to the byline, and she does get across in. Here's Wyszynski, and Wyszynski slides it in, and Institute have the lead. They've had to absorb a lot of pressure in the opening 22 minutes, and it was Talon Henniker with a lovely ball in when there appeared to be very little space to work with. She found Wyszynski. Wyszynski held off the defence and found the net, and the kids are in front. Sydney Olympic 0, Football New South Wales Institute 1. Very nice strike. Adelaide Wyszynski is another Institute player who's played for the Junior Matildas. He's got her fair share of goals this season, and you can see why, because the penalty box presence there from Wyszynski was very nice. Institute have something to hold on to as Duong gets the foot in there for that pass. Now it's Skelly, and Skelly forward, Kashaba. Kashaba eyes up, looking for the ball to Wyszynski. Now, here's Duong. And Duong, I think, was just about crowded out, but at the expense of a corner. They say time flies when you're having fun. Well, 24 minutes. It's taken that long to have the first corner of the game. There's quite a crowd in that 6-yard box. Delivered to the far post. And Institute win it, and there's a header which loops up and into Anna Ivanovich's grateful arms. That goes out of play. So, next to the Sunday's games, I'm just going to give a brief plug to. It's actually the women's match of the round And it's not just the match of the round, it's a rematch of NPL Women's Match of the Round, my apologies, but the NPL Women's Match of the Round is also a rematch of the 2022 Grand Final, dramatic affair that went all the way to penalties. MacArthur Rams versus Northern Tigers at Linwood Park. 5 p.m. kickoff on Sunday, and because that's a women's match of the round, only one man suitable to call it, and that is Nikola Pozder, the Serbian Martin Tyler. So he will be heading to St. Helens Park to call MacArthur versus Northern Tigers. Forward, I think, by Keep, and good first touch from Skelly at an awkward height. Broken up by Bowling. Back to Ray. Now Yamahata. Gabrielle Peak, and she's going to aim one down the line for Bowling. It looks like Annabella Keep has marshalled it well. Back to Jasmine Black. And Keep off target made that pass. Also at 5 p.m. on Sunday, NPL Women's Action that you can watch on our YouTube page. It's the matchup I like to call the NPL Women's New South Wales Distance Derby. Illawarra Stingrays versus Emerging Jets from Macedonia Park down in Berkeley on the south coast. And apologies if I haven't written this down in my notebook, but I think Stingrays versus Jets down on the south coast, called by Thomas Phillips, that one, as Oliverio, with a typically energetic run down the left-hand side, and she wins Olympics first corner of the evening. By the way, thinking back to Thomas Phillips, who calls Stingrays versus Jets on Sunday, a man known as Wollongong Sax Boy, because he's from Wollongong and is very, very good on the saxophone, a nickname that actually explains itself. Now, Oliverio, I think, going short as the ref advises everyone to watch their hands. And near post, and Oliverio, I don't think she got a touch on it to help it on. Now, McHugh Shaw. Second chance maybe to whip one into the middle. Koulazakis. Couldn't get past the defense, and in fact, it will be an institute throw. Also at 5 p.m. on a Sunday, from Sydney University Football Ground, it's Sydney University versus Sydney Olympic. And so that's what's facing these women in dark blue in 3 days' time. So a short turnaround, of course, as I referred to earlier, for Olympic. And Sydney University versus Sydney Olympic, called by one of my favorite commentators, the Professor Melissa Muscat, for her first year in the commentary team. She's doing a wonderful job, as that's forward from Christina Kachich. Now, Ray finding Suriaga. And Bowling. Forced backwards. Now, Gabrielle Peak. Olympic work it right to left. And then Baldana, broken it up, sending it crashing into her own set of substitutes. Now, just looking through my Twitter mentions, and if I hold that thought as it's Talon Henniker again down the right-hand side, stopped by Peak, back to Talon Henniker, and she's won the corner. So more good work from Institute's captain for tonight. By a quick shout out to Kat, who's in my Twitter mentions, mentioning that Institute bench, so Fante, Nada, Bonora, Kassar and Fuller. She's referred to them as a bench of national champions, so thanks for letting me know, Kat. That can only mean that New South Wales were winners at last week's National Youth Championships down at the home of Matildas in Melbourne. So well done to those players, and well done to New South Wales. I think that's Kashaba on the far side who will whip this in. And away by Siriaga. Duong. And back to Juric. And Kashaba didn't get back on side. Yes. Back to the National Youth Championships last week at I think the home of the Matildas. It's in La Trobe University in Melbourne. Yes. If New South Wales won that, well, That's certainly what us at Football New South Wales love to see. Is really what's the point of the national championship if New South Wales doesn't win it in the end? Good to see Sophia Fante, Lauren Nada, Kiara Benora, Amelia Casa, and Tiana Fuller. Assuming all 5 of them are involved, good to see them helping New South Wales earn what is rightfully ours. Kashaba blocking the pass now. Peak, a little bit of a loose touch, which led Skellion to steal possession. Now Duong forced back. It's a bit tricky. And for all that, tried to break from the play, but yes, you can see it's very keenly fought out there, which is what you want to see, of course. Decent cross from Molesky, a bit of an awkward height, but cleared in the end. Wyszynski at wide, aiming for Talon Henniker. Mercutio once again not wanting Talon Henniker to turn and run, although possible opportunity now as Peak is able to help it back to the goalkeeper. Now diagonal there, Bowling's after it. And first touch taking it more towards goal. Bowling attacking the penalty area. Now Ray. Baldana. Baldana shoots from range and one hop. Good save from Black. And she's up quickly to prevent a corner and prevent any Olympic player profiting from the rebound. It can be tricky when balls bounce in front of the goalkeeper. It's kind of an awkward dipping shot from Baldana. Black was at full stretch to make the save. Molesky after that one, but Kashaba got there first, and now Duong plays it wide. The Institute front three looking to stretch Olympic as Talon Henniker puts it up into the sky. There's Yamahata with the header. It's chilly at the start. Obviously, it's getting colder as Kashaba has caught in bowling late, and that's. So it only appears to be quite some discomfort. So I'm going to see the Olympic physio come on, and Elvina Kashaba will be the first player into the notebook. In fact, Sean Lacey discussing this with Isaac Riggs. So, this could be pivotal in the context of this game. It's actually going to be a red card to Alvina Kashaba, so Institute a goal up, but with one player less for the remainder of this contest. And there's still, once you take into account stoppages, roughly an hour. Here's the real challenge for Institute and for Lisa Warriner. As Institute try and reorganize, but firstly, but more importantly, thoughts to Lacey Bowling, who's in a lot of discomfort. And it's good to see the Institute players surrounding Lacey just to make sure, just to give her as much comfort as they can. Good to see at least Lacey Bowling's going to be well looked after, but it kind of seems that you'd never like to see. Discussion important for both teams, of course, and then Olympic will have to make an early substitute. Chafe Abrahams will have to go to the bench earlier than planned. So now, I think I see a 7, and if I look at my notes, only one player has a number that ends in a 7, which would be number 17, Maxine Peake, who started a lot of games and scored a lot of goals for Olympic this season. And as I said earlier, they need to rotate at this stage of the season, so Maxine Peake perhaps getting more minutes than she might have anticipated, but from an Olympic perspective at least, it's a good player for them to bring on. Now, we'll go back underway. Now it's going to be, it's going to lead to quite a bit of time added on for the end of the first half. And a reshuffle as well. Does look, at least at this early stage, like Priya Suryaga is going to be on the right side of the midfield now that Lacey Bowling is off the field. And her first action, really, in her new position is to whip in a pretty teasing cross, which is cleared into the fence. I was trying to see where Maxine Peake is as well, if Suryaga's gone out of the middle. So I'll figure it out later, but Maxine Peake possibly playing just off Helena Mileski, who appears to be the first player forward for tonight's hosts. Whipped in. And Institute, well, perhaps an unplanned, shall we say, unplanned lesson in dealing with overloads. That's what Institute will have for the remainder of this game. Baudana. Now the ball, it's Kulizakis tried to break the lines. Olympic really pushing to take advantage of the extra players. It's a long-range shot. Black at full stretch. And she did not get a touch, so it's a goal kick. Decent first action after coming onto the field from Maxine Peake there. And Jasmine Black worried enough to dive. Mileski stopped. A nice tackle there. Skelly. And Skelly taking on 3 players. Got past 2. Taylor Ray was the 3rd. Stop that promising run from the former Southeast Phoenix player. Gabrielle Peake. As both Peaks are now on the field for Olympic, and here's the other one, Maxine, chasing and putting them under pressure. But Institute away with Bennett. And now it's McCushaw for Olympic. Kulizakis finding herself a little bit deeper and couldn't find Oliverio on the far side. So let's see, what game have I not spoken about yet from Sunday in NPL Women's IS at the always odd kickoff time of 5:10 p.m. Yes, that is the Gladesville Ravens home kickoff time for some reason, but yes, at the Arctic Circle, Gladesville Ravens hosting Football New South Wales Institute, 5:10 p.m. on Sunday. As it's played forward by Kulizakis and Mileski. He's going to make it awkward, but will also give away the free kick. Then at got some even later kickoffs on Sunday. at 6:15 p.m. from the home of football on the Northern Beaches, Cromer Park. Manly United versus University of New South Wales, and their star mid-season signing, Abby Lemon. And that'll be an interesting one. In case you are curious and wondering why. Sorry, everyone. Joys of live broadcasting. Anyway, in case you're wondering why Manly United versus UNSW is at 6:15 p.m. on Sunday, it's because Cromer Park will be the venue for this year's Football New South Wales State Cup Finals, one of two statewide tournaments for community football teams in our Football New South Wales territory. The other, of course, being Champion of Champions, which is at the end of, which goes after the local winter seasons. So yes, Cromer Park getting a little bit more use than normal. And so it has been decided to accommodate this. Manly United have decided to push their women's reserve grade and women's first grade games back a bit as Peak looks to find Suriaga. Zordan blocks the Olympic number 25, so it will be an Olympic throw-in, but Zordan, who's also had to switch positions after the red card. Now, it's a new battle there, at least for the remainder of the first period between Zordan and this player, Priya Suriaga. Cuts it back, and it's somehow evaded everyone. He had plenty of support coming in. The ball has somehow missed all of them, and now Talon Henniker looking to take it the other way. And here's Wyszynski, but Yamahata has covered the run well. Actually, going back to that reshuffle of things at Cromer Park, my sources up at Manly United tell me it wasn't just the senior women's games, the reserve grade and first grade games had to be moved. They've actually had to use one of the community grounds for their girls' youth league as well. So State Cup finals have presented quite the logistical challenge. Anyway, Koulizakis, and that's a free kick. And she could be a bit sore, so let's hope Koulizakis is okay. But it's going to be Christina Kacic into Sean Lacey's notebook. At least Koulizakis is sitting up, but that was a very heavy challenge. And I mean, Kacic, shall we say, looking at where this ball is, Kacic at Institute, possibly a little bit fortunate that Koulizakis wasn't a little bit further advanced when the contact was made, because this free kick is right on the edge of the box. And Jasmine Black has asked for 3 players in the wall. So we have Suriaga as one of the players. Koulizakis is okay. I think she was just, looks like she was just taking a breather. Now she's going to think about this set piece. Her or Suriaga. And obviously everyone back for Institute. Left-footed delivery. It's a great one as well. And it's actually played over her own crossbar. I think that might have been Kacic actually conceding the corner. So the corner count leveled at 2 corners apiece. Now but it's Olympic with the end of the first half approaching, trying to level the scoreboard. Koulizakis, well, she took that last set piece right, left-footed. Now she's going to take this one right-footed. And sticky gloves from Jasmine Black, under pressure as well. Impressive from the young keeper to claim the ball under pressure. Now Koulizakis will press. And that's going to give Zordan a bit of a challenge, and Zordan can't keep it in. So Olympic, as the strength in numbers would suggest, ending the first half on the offensive. Gabrielle Peak back to Yamahata. Ray gets McHugh Shaw involved. Now they'll try the left side. The side I can't see as well. And Oliverio this time wins the free kick. And I think Institute got to be careful here not to let frustration get the better of them. I love a vocal keeper. Good to see Jasmine Black as being just that. So I can't quite see. I'm going to assume that Michaela Duong is one of the players in that two-person maul. Again, Kulazakis with the dead ball. Olympic make it stick. Get the shot away. Wide. But it was Oliverio who, under heavy pressure, did well even to get that shot away, because it was a good first touch, firstly under pressure from the Olympic goalkeeper. Now, I'm sure there's some Sapphire Cup fans out there as Sean Lacey asked Jasmine Black to keep it going. But there's been a goal in the Sapphire Cup game at North Taramara, so Northern Tigers leading by a goal to nil. Now, my friend Dean is a massive Izzy Gomez fan, so I know it's an assist from Izzy Gomez. He isn't sure who scored it, but Dean has told me what he wants me to know. Izzy Gomez, great midfield performer for Northern Tigers ever since she came back to the club from Football New South Wales Institute. And also did a good job for Central Coast Mariners in the last A-League women's season. Anyway, Ray zings one in. It's away by Kachich. Decision goes Institute's way. Number 18 is all Dean's got for me as to the identity of that Tigers goal scorer. I think that's our Kiwi friend Nikola Dominikovic. I think. Wyszynski blocks the pass. Now Gabriel Peak is trying to put pressure on Wyszynski, and then McHugh Shaw gets to it ahead of Talon Henniker. And here's McHugh Shaw. Gets the shouts from Oliverio. And back to Yamahata. And you see, before the red card, Institute did a lot of this, like getting everyone behind the ball and really making it difficult for Olympic to play through them. Well, there's going to be more of that now from Institute. A goal up and one player less. There's going to be a big test of Olympics' precision in tight spaces as Suriaga wins the corner. But actually we won't have the corner because that is the end of the first. It's the end of the first half. And lots to talk about after that opening 45 minutes plus a couple extra. Sydney Olympic 0, Football New South Wales Institute 1. Adelaide Wyszynski has the kids in front as the teams head to the dressing sheds. But a red card to Alvina Kashaba means Institute have 10 players for the remainder of this contest. This is Eric Subihana on the mic from Peter Moore Field. We'll take a break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. welcome back to the second half of our Thursday night NPL Women's New South Wales coverage from Peter Moore Fields. So far the kids are winning. Football New South Wales Institute leading by 1-0 over Sydney Olympic. A very nice strike from Adelaide Wyszynski midway through the first half is what separates these two sides. But as I'm sure most of you would have seen, Institute down to 10 players after a red card for Alvina Kashaba. So that's going to be a big challenge for them to hold on to their lead. Sydney Olympic, a team very much in the mix for the NPL Women's New South Wales Premiership. They're definitely not short of motivation to turn things around and try and grab those 3 points. Back underway for the second half. Now, of course, no fourth official in this competition, so my usual routine of trying to figure out if any subs have been made at halftime. Olympic, they already made a sub, the unfortunate injury to Lacey Bowling. She was replaced by Maxine Peake. So I'd be surprised if they made any more. It does, of course, mean that Olympic have also used one of their substitution windows. Now, okay, I'm 99.99% confident that Olympic did not make a sub at halftime. So, as Talon Henniker tries to defend against Oliverio, and the Olympic skipper will keep going on with it. Now, Wyszynski. Good technique and patience to find Duong. Now, it is, I think that's Anita Zordan. Down the line, and Gabrielle Peake has to chase in defense up against Skelly. Peake gets the job done. So, a reminder of that Olympic, oh, not the starting lineup, apologies, but the Olympic lineup that's out there. So, in a goal for them, number 20, Anna Ivanovic, 3 at the back, number 2, Gabrielle Peake, number 4, Aya Yamahata, and number 3, Ebony McHugh-Shaw. 4 in midfield, so on the left, number 8, the captain, Brianna Oliverio. On the right, number 25, Priya Suriaga. In central midfield, number 27, Taylor Ray, and number 13, Tara Baldana. And the 3 up front, number 9, Demi Kulazakis, number 17, Maxine Peake, and number 29, Helena Molesky. Keep towards Talon Henniker, and they double up on Talon Henniker almost immediately, but that's a nice touch from Bennett, and Bennett finds Duong. Duong winds a long-range shot up, and it's hit the crossbar. Duong on a allegedly weaker left foot, didn't look pretty strong that time, and she nearly doubled Institute's lead. Michaela Duong, I know she has scored at least 1 goal for the junior Matildas. In the summers, Duong plays in the Futsal Premier League with Mascot Vipers, and as you just saw, she certainly does have a venomous shot. She was millimetres away from making a 2-0 to Institute. Good to see you. Checking my DMs at halftime. Good to see a couple of people as excited as we are. That's Kaylee Talon Henniker. This player on the ball right now is captaining Institute this evening. The Fig Tree Flyers certainly has a lot of fans. But now, Maxine Peake chasing, and it's Xantha Juric playing it over the sideline. Gabrielle Peake. Ray, first time. Could be awkward for Zordan. But she has found Skelly. By the way, it took me long enough, but it figured it out. Institute, after the red card, now in a 4-4-1 formation. But look, hoping that the wide players can break as quickly as possible when they get the chance. But they've got to defend first. And Jasmine Black falls on the ball. So the Institute lineup out there. In goal for them, number 55, Jasmine Black. 4 at the back, so from left to right. Number 72, Anita Zordan. Number 65, Christina Kachich. Number 61, Anna Number 63, Zante Juric is the other central defender, and at right back, number 61, Annabella Keep. 4 across the midfield, so that from left to right is number 73, Lillian Skelly, number 45, Michaela DeWong, number 38, Amelia Bennett, and number 54, the captain, Kaylee Talon-Henniker. And up front, number 71, the goal scorer for this evening, Adelaide Wyszynski. Now, could be a chance here. And Molesky is putting the back line under pressure. That's going to be a familiar storyline you feel for the rest of this game. As Bennett keeps the ball despite momentarily losing her footing. And Bennett goes forward. And Yamahata sends it to Koulazakis. Now Koulazakis again towards Maxine Peake. Decent first touch, might set it up, and saved. And on the rebound, somehow it's not put in. A combination of keeper and defender. Good initial save from Jasmine Black. And somehow it is shepherded behind for a corner kick. I think that's Koulazakis taking the flag kick. Decent. And not cleared it the first time. At the back post, it's sent over. Very big chance. Institute survive. So after all that promoting I did in the first half of some games and a somewhat long-winded explanation of why Manly United versus UNSW is kicking off at 6:15 p.m. on Sunday instead of the usual 5 p.m. time slot, I forgot the most important part, self-promotion. I'm the one calling that game at Cromer Park between Manly and UNSW. Of all the things for me to forget. Anyway, people who have known me for a long time will know that's extremely out of character, as it's Duong now wants to bring Zordan into play. Not cut out, so Skelly, if she keeps it in, well, it's a touch off Olympic. Institute will gratefully take that throw. By the way, apologies, I forgot a commentator shout out, so it's the 5:10 p.m. game on Sunday between Gladesville Ravens and Football New South Wales Institute, called by Interline's under-20 superstar Annabelle Banfield. Player who knows what it's like to play in League One, just like a few players on the team sheets for this evening. And again, I'll do my best when it's on the far side. I think that was Wyszynski trying to hold it up. Decent turn, and then corner. Oh no, my bad. See, told you I couldn't see. It's a throw-in. Can they work the space for the cross? They do. And it's away by Gabrielle Peake. Kachich now, I think that is. And the ball is interesting now. First time pass, but the flag is up from Isaac Riggs on the near side. That's offside. So, the latest of the NPL women's games. The latest of the NPL women's games to be played on Sunday. It's kind of a time slot where not usual normal for this season, but we've been familiar with in previous seasons. A 7 p.m. kickoff at Lambert Park, the home of Sydney's best barista, as McHugh Shaw gets involved there. Now, that's Duong, and can she drop it over the top? No, that's claimed by Anna Ivanovic, but yes. It's Sunday, 7 p.m. from Lambert Park in Sydney's inner west, and it's RPL Leichhardt. And their attack led, of course, by the Queen of Blacktown, last year's Golden Boot, last year's player of the year, Ashley Crofts. RPL Leichhardt hosting Blacktown Spartans. And here's Oliverio. And tries to thread the ball through. That's Jasmine Black who gets there first. Now, taken over by Taylor Ray. Foul, despite Institute disbelief, and it's going to lead to a yellow card for what they call dissent by water action to Michaela Duong. Jasmine Black continuing to be my favorite type of goalkeeper, a very, very loud goalkeeper. Sean Lacey measures the 10 yards. It's going to be Ray and Koulizakis thinking about this dead ball. We've got the perfect view for this one to see how it'll unfold. 5 in the wall for Institute. Could be a big moment. Now it's Koulizakis as bending, but also going over. Now, Sapphire Cup action. Thanks once again to Dean, my North Taramara reporting assistant at NTRA. So it was a second goal for Northern Tigers in the Cup game tonight between Northern Tigers and Gladesville Ravens. Well, actually, there's more updates. Well, because Shay Evans, by the way, a player who's played for both Olympic and Institute, Shay Evans made it 2-0. Hannah McNulty made it 3-0 for Tigers, and then right at the death, Olivia Cartwright has made it 4-0 to Northern Tigers. So wouldn't you know it, if that is the full-time scoreline, Tigers 4, Ravens 0, it's an exact repeat of the scoreline from when those two teams met in the Sapphire Cup semi-finals last year. A game I had the pleasure of calling. Well, it was at North Taramara in the cold, so pleasure's it's a debatable concept, but I was the commentator for that Sapphire Cup semi-final last year. So it looks like Northern Tigers will join their near neighbours Northwest Sydney Spirit in the Sapphire Cup semi-finals. Last night, Spirit travelled to the eastern suburbs to play the last community football team remaining in the Sapphire Cup. That was Coogee United from Eastern Suburbs Premier League. And Spirit won by 6-2 at Heffron Park. I presume they used the synthetic there, although there's like 700 fields at Heffron Park, so who knows really. Koulizakis plays it forward and right in front of Markashir, the assistant on the far side. It is sent into the fence. Now, if you've heard a lot of my commentary, you'll know one of the things I don't like is, or struggle with is, as it might be a chance at the back post here, and Olympic keep it alive, but it's sent out of the box. Now, notice it's about the time when coaches like to make substitutes, as it's off Kachicha's head, and Molesky will take over it. We're at the opposite side of the field to the two technical areas, so I reckon I'm going to struggle with player identification in the next 5 to 10 minutes as new players are introduced by both Olympic coach Jeff Abrahams and Institute coach Lisa Warrener. Institute, they've got to step up when they can, but the pattern of the game, it does look like Olympic are forcing them deeper and deeper. And it's going to be a long old half-hour plus stoppages if that's the case. Now, it goes, and Jasmine Black, I mean, look close from our angle, but Jasmine Black didn't look too worried. Now, of course, it's not just NPL Women's we have on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. There's a weekly stream from one of my favourite competitions, the women's second tier of Football New South Wales League One Women's. And this weekend's feature, Jane, from the women's second tier is at, I think, 5 Sports in Caringbah. Another odd kickoff time. It's 3:10 p.m. between St George FC and Hills United. So I know I've called a men's game between St George FC and Hills. I have not called the women's encounter between those two teams as yet, but you know, maybe the time will come. Anyway, that women's game, League One women's game, Sunday 3:10 p.m. St George FC versus Hills. It'll be called by Duckman, who also goes by the name Matthew Austin. But I do want to take his nickname seriously, Duckman, because he has registered the IP for that nickname. Can you believe that? So, I mean, I respect the effort as Wyszynski puts the pressure under Yamahata. Finds Gabriel Peak. I keep one eye to see if subs are likely. I think Olympic see two players up, so we might see a double sub at the far side of the field. This is one of my big commentary struggles as Molesky chases, but it looks like Kacic will prevent the corner. Olympic throw coming up. Ray delivers and looking for Oliverio. Not kept in play. Now, yep, there's, great. 5 subs at once from the far side of the field. Oh, dear. Well, I'll try my best, everyone. This is no good. My binoculars broke as well, like a month ago. So, I see Maya Fernandez, number 10, is one of my guesses. So, Tara Baudana is one of the players to come off, number 13. I'll concentrate on the 2 Olympic players first. Wish me the best of luck with that Olympic triple sub, by the way. But I know it's not Sophia Fante, the backup keeper for Institute. That's all I can tell you. Rochelle Borromeo? Yeah, that's got it. So, coming on for Olympic number 10, Maya Fernandez, and number 11, Rochelle Borromeo. And as I said, Tara Baudana, one of the players who has left the field. I'll have to use process of elimination to figure out who the other one is. Black restarts. And the goal kick. Good header. Kacic under defensive pressure. Now Bennett. Bennett directed to play it out wide, so here's Annabella Keep. One of the new players on, by the way, number 41, Amelia Casa. So, Casa looks like if she's come on, looks like she's a straight swap for the Fig Tree Flyer, Kaylee Talon-Henniker. So, Talon-Henniker set up the only goal of the game for Adelaide Wyszynski midway through the first half. It's been another fine performance from the South Coast Flame legend. As Miku Shaw goes back to Yamahata. Still trying to figure out who that other player was that made way. I think it's Helena Molesky who's left the field along with Baudana for Olympic. Oh, great. So I figured 3 out of the 5 subs. Will I figure out the other 2 before the end of the game? Oliverio crosses, and could be a chance here. And now Koulazakis is charging in. Somebody, I think it was Kacic, got in the way of that Koulazakis shot. Looked like it would have had a lot of power behind it, but the sting was taken out of it. Easy save for Jasmine Black. So, if I think about this Olympic double sub, Bennett broken up by Fernandez, and now Koulazakis, nice pass to Maxine Peak, but she's moved too early. Offside, signaled by Marcus Gier, assistant on the far side. I probably butchering his surname. So for Olympic, Borromeo looks to have replaced Molesky in the Olympic front 3. Fernandez replacing Baudana in central midfield. That is the extent of my tactical knowledge. I'm certainly no round ball analyst. Zordan. Now Kacic has to clear. Now, I suppose I shouldn't recklessly speculate. I do wonder if Lauren Nada's on the field, because I've noticed Anita Zordan is back in central midfield, and there's a new player at left back. I wonder if the left back is Nada. Now, it's decent. Maxine Peak winds it up and can't guess by Kacic. Fernandez broken up. I think I see a 29, yep, so that would be Lauren Nada, who's the Second player I've been able to identify as a newly introduced one by Lisa Warner in that recent triple substitution. I wonder if Michaela DeWong has been subbed. She was on a yellow card, so Lisa Warner not taking any risks, I think. I think that's what's happened. Now, decent ball, and now into the fence. And Institute can breathe a little bit easily, but the pressure is going to keep coming over the remaining 25 minutes plus stoppages. If you've just joined us, of course, you could click back on the Football New South Wales YouTube stream and watch what you've missed. But the key moment came in the 23rd minute. Adelaide Wyszynski holding off the Olympic defence and finishing nicely from Michaeli Talon-Hennick across. That's why Institute are leading 1-0 over Sydney Olympic. Here's Kassar. And Kassar, great ball. And here's a shot. And it's past Ivanovich's fingertips and also past the post. Institute won a corner, which they're not going to get now. That is not too far away from my nightmare, a sub scoring before I figured out who it was. I think that was Tiana Fuller, because I think I saw 46. I am, not the most confident about that. And if Tiana Fuller's on, it looks like Lillian Skelly was the third player withdrawn by Lisa Warner. Yes. As I said earlier, the camera zooms in. My eyes don't, so if I get something wrong, well, I hope at least it's hilarious for some of you, because, yeah, I'm struggling when it's on that far side of the field. Pocket of space found by Maxine Peake. Now Borromeo runs, gets past Kacic, but not past, I think, Laura Nada. And now Nada overcooks it. Wyszynski will chase, but easy for Ivanovic. I'll mention the Sapphire Cup and the two completed quarterfinals. Well, I assume Tigers Ravens is finished by now. That was a 6:45 p.m. kickoff, and yes, Dean has confirmed to me. Northern Tigers 4, Collegial Ravens 0. Northern Tigers joining their near neighbours Northwest Sydney Spirit in the Sapphire Cup semi-finals. And the two remaining quarterfinals are next week. They're both on Wednesday the 17th. For some reason I've written Thursday the 17th, but the 17th is a Wednesday. It's definitely Wednesday the 17th, as it's forward to Kassar and tackled by McHugh Shaw. Koulazakis is, I guess, got the shout from McHugh Shaw to say that it was Olympics throw-in. But yeah, the two remaining Sapphire Cup quarterfinals, Wednesday the 17th at 6 p.m. from Jubilee Stadium, RPL Leichhardt versus Sydney Olympic. So Olympic, as I said, they certainly got a busy time over the next 2 months. That's that quarterfinal between RPL and Olympic is at Jubilee Stadium in Coggera. It's also the first part of a women's and men's doubleheader, because there's meant to be an NPL men's game directly after that at 8 p.m. So if you're the kind of person who loves chaos, you will want that Sapphire Cup game between RPL and Olympic to go to extra time and then penalties, so that the NPL men's game between RPL and Olympic kicks off at 9 p.m. That's what I want. That'd be funny. And it would serve them right for not doing it the other way around. But then, charged down by Oliverio. And that will curl, but it will not stay in play. So the final, or the last Sapphire Cup quarterfinal, Wednesday 17th. At 7 p.m. from my favourite venue in World Sport, Bella Vista Public School. It's the last League One women's team left in the competition. Hills United, they host Sydney University. As that's sent onto the rugby league field behind us. Sydney University, as Ebony McHugh Shaw scrambles, because of course the clock is starting to become the enemy for Hills United. McHugh Shaw scrambling to get another ball. Do wonder if, I did notice there's some, thanks in advance to that helpful child who is going to retrieve that ball so that some Olympic volunteer doesn't have to find it. Thank you. Anyway, corner kick. Institute again urging for defensive concentration. Koulazakis thinks about what she'll do. She varies it up, going low to the near post and the return ball. Now she delivers, back post, and it's a real scramble at the back post. Once again, Institute throwing bodies in the way. But one back and in the middle, they let it bounce, and there's enough defending at the back post, but another corner kick. Olympic, it's their fourth corner by my very unofficial manual tally. Start to make their runs as Koulazakis checks her studs. It's flat, and again Institute defend, strong at the near post. Now, it's a big chase going on, but that's it would have been quite a sprint if she kept that in play. Suriaga, back to Yamahata. Yes. We're just going back to that Sapphire Cup game between Hills United and Sydney Uni. Just first, I'll see how this Olympic attack goes. Played forward by Casa though, and now trying to hit Wyszynski quickly, but Gabrielle Peak is in the way. And Peak is fouled, but yes. Let's go back to that cup game between Hills United and Sydney University. I think Sydney University, they've had an interesting cup run, knocking out the team my friend plays for. Shout out to the fine folk of the Flying Bats. Then they knocked out my employer. Now they're trying to knock out my local team. So Sydney Uni have been very mean to me this year, as it's kept away from Siriaga and actually shepherded out for the goal kick. I actually plan to attend that cup game between Hills and Sydney Uni in 6 days' time. If Sydney Uni win, nobody talk to me for a day or so, because I'll be furious. Good goal kick by Black, right onto Casa's toe, and Casa's gotten away from two. Now looking for Wyszynski. Tireless running as always. Ivanovic is out, and it's good command of the penalty area. Blocked by Juric, who's taken over from the captain's armband after Talon Henniker's substitution. Olympic aiming right. Blocked. This last 18 minutes is going to feel like an eternity for Institute if it keeps ending up in this part of the field. Another ball in, and it's not held, and tapped in at the back post by Priya Siriaga. Zinged in, too hot for Institute defence to hold. Siriaga made the right run, and it was a simple finish. Sydney Olympic 1, Football New South Wales Institute 1. Now, if you're an avid watcher of NPL New South Wales socials, and if not, why not? You'll remember when Priya Suriaga scored from about the parking lot late in a game away to Illawarra Stingrays to win Olympic that game 1-0. It was the opposite of that long-range bomb she scored, just as valuable though. And that's cleared by Oliverio. As one of our commentators, the incredibly good-looking Alexander Molchanov, likes to say, Picasso doesn't exist on the scoreboard. So just all that matters is scoring more goals than they do. Overlapping run from Oliverio, but Maxine Peak was forced backwards. Blocked by Wyszynski. She's back defending now. They might have swapped. She might have swapped at least temporarily with Casa. Now Borromeo on the run, takes a touch, and that will not. That will roll away from Koulazakis. awkward one dealt well. Great first touch from Yamahata, though, to kill it. And Olympic pressure is incessant. But that offside, again, I think, against Maxine Pink. More subs coming on, so... Well... I was wondering if, for a moment I thought there was going to be an Institute double sub, but that's just a player standing near the technical area. So that must be number 39, Kiara Bonora, because the only other option is Sophia Fante, and she's a goalkeeper. So yes, there we go. That's about as much logic as I operate with in my life. Good touch from Casa. I think that's Bonora. And Keep is the player in space. Ball out wide. Here's Wyszynski, and Wyszynski wins the corner off McHugh Shaw.
Yeah, bro.
Sounds like atmospheres like this. I can very clearly hear Lisa Warner wanting, well, when Maxine Peake was up, she wanted 3 defenders to stay and cover her, but now that every Olympic player is back, Institute being a little bit more aggressive. There's quite a crowd in front of Anna Ivanovic. It goes into the 6-yard box. And they let it bounce before Yamahata clears. Juric. Now actually, I'll hold that thought as here's Zordan. And Zordan tried to keep it alive. But now it's Taylor Ray for Olympic. And Keep has Maxine Peake advancing slowly. Still plays it down the line. And great tackle from Oliverio. Before coming back is Wyszynski, who's had to do a lot of work and a lot of it without the ball, but Wyszynski clearly is still full of running. Hey, that reminds me, so if I'm correct, Zante Juric, if it's a familiar surname, oh yeah, it's familiar for a reason. She's, I believe, related to Ante Juric. What a player he was, by the way. And of course, if you're perhaps not quite as old as I am, and lots of you aren't, I know that because I keep getting reminded of that by my friends, but of course, Ante Juric these days, the incredibly successful coach of the Sydney FC A-League women's team. Worked in there, and it breaks for Maxine Peake. She might get a second go. She does. Straight at Jasmine Black. Ball far side. It's against. I mean, I've just don't really feel like guessing. Just waiting for the signal, and that signal is a decision going the way of Institute. I got my. It's good to see my friends are watching. Asking me why do I pronounce Adelaide Wyszynski's surname differently to the other commentators? Oh, that's easy. It's because I'm pronouncing it correctly. Now. There you go. I can get mean when it's cold, or even when it's not cold. Anyway, Taylor Ray, Borromeo. There's another surname I make sure I pronounce correctly. Koulizakis going from long range, nowhere near the target. There we go, right on cue. I'm getting bullied for being old by in one of my group chats. I mean, oh well. At least I look younger than a lot of people. I'll settle for that. As I try very feebly to keep things topical, I just looked at my Twitter mentions, and yes, that's a good tackle there from Institute, and then Casa with a good run, but Ivanovic collecting it right at the edge of the box. So, of course, we got in the men's Euros. You know, the men's Euros, the one England haven't won. In the men's Euros, it's Spain versus England, and if my Twitter mentioned, someone has liked a tweet from last year in relation to the Women's World Cup final, which was also between Spain and England, where I tweeted, the best thing about big games is there's always a loser. So, thank you for that bonus engagement, whoever you are. Now, Koulizakis trying to find Gabriel Peak's run. A big run from Gabriel Peak to try and push things from defense. The light blue jerseys have kept her out, and now looking to take it the other way. So Yamahata has to be the one on the cover and goes back to Ivanovic. Ivanovic, it was perhaps that pass out from Ivanovic was perhaps closer to Tiana Fuller than the Olympic fans to our right would have wanted, but it works out for Olympic in the end. Kacic, one-on-one with Maxine Peak, and we'll go on. Zordan, dispossessed by Fernandez, and Koulizakis could be away. She shoots, and it's just over. Ooh. Well, Fernandez, fresh legs in central midfield, strong in the challenge, and immediately knew what the option was, finding Koulizakis. The shot wasn't too far away. Flick on there, but that's, I think that'll stay away from Institute. Into the final 10 minutes of regulation time here, and a brief summary of the action. Well, it is 1-1 between Sydney Olympic and Football New South Wales Institute, although Borromeo lost her footing at the vital moment, and there's an appeal for, I have no idea what. She just lost her footing. It's not anything. We'll go on, but yes, just a summary of tonight's action. Of course, you can click back on the YouTube stream and see what you missed, but Football New South Wales Institute took the lead midway through the first half. Adelaide Wyszynski finishing nicely, and the assist from the Fig Tree Flyer, Kaylee Talon-Henniker. Then, still in the first half, there was a red card for Institute's Alvina Marie Kashaba, and the equaliser for Olympic claim in the 73rd minute from Priya Suriaga. Area goes back to McHugh Shaw. Gabrielle Peak. Yes, I think that is a it does appear to be a permanent switch. Adelaide Wyszynski right of the Institute midfield, and now Amelia Casa up front. There's a ball right into the heart of defence, sent away by Kacic. Presumably that's because Casa has fresher legs. Koulizakis. Broken up by Wyszynski. Kacic, and she's had a good game. Despite the card, she's had a good game in the Institute Essential Defence. Well, that's right. I just reminded myself I have to send 3-2-1s when this game's done. Oh, well, I better start paying attention. Here's Fernandez. Now Yamahata. Still more than enough time for someone to become the hero. Institute development is the aim, of course, for programs like Institute, as Keep concedes the corner. But Institute, after losing 6-1 on Sunday, they'd love any kind of positive result, especially after having had to play with 10 players for so long. But Olympic, as we know, in the Premiership battle, needing to use these games in hand to close the gap between themselves and RPL Leichhardt, the league leaders. Good ball, and there's a bit of a punch, but still not out of the box. Then it hits Borromeo, and Borromeo under a bit of pressure, and she's done well to win the free kick, and she needed to be good with the use of the body there. As Olympic get on with it to Taylor Ray, and now there's space at the back post, and it goes out. And yes, actually, back to that foul won by Rocha Borromeo, who that could so easily have been an Institute counterattack if she had lost the ball there, because there were two Institute players in very close attention. So it's those little things that can prove to make such a big difference in the end. As I like to say, an attacking set piece is an opportunity for both teams to score. Institute weren't too far away from launching a counterattack off a corner they were defending. Now someone's messaged me for a score update. I mean, I'm just going to assume that for this person who, they will go unnamed, but let's just say they're the best women's youth development coach in Australia. Suppose this person is not in a position to watch the stream, so just bear with me while I respond to these messages. It's okay. I suppose I could distract myself to send that message because I can't see anything when it's down there anyway. I think that's Lauren Nada, the throw. And when in doubt, just chuck it down the line. Institute now in opposition territory. Nada again. Helped on, but it will stay in play. So Gabrielle Peak has to play at it. How high do Institute want to press? There's Ray, fairly high, but might be an opportunity as Fernandez is on the ball. Might be an opportunity for Olympic to play out, but I can't get past halfway. 88th minute here. Down the years, and long-time followers of the comp will know this. It's a league that provides lots of late goals, lots of late drama. Still more than enough time for us to see it here at Peter Moore Field. Now, good turn by Benora. And the ball to Zordan. McHugh Shaw. Too strong. Just briefly, one last time, I'd shout out the NPL Women's Games and the League One Women's Match of the Round, all of those on Sunday. So the League One Women's Match of the Round, 3:10 p.m. at 5 Sports Carring Bar between St George FC and Hills United. Two teams I have never called in the women's comp, by the way. And then all 7 NPL women's games for the next round are on Sunday, the 14th of July. Happy Bastille Day. So 4:40 p.m. from the outrageously cold Northbridge Oval. Bulls FC Academy versus Northwest Sydney Spirit. 3 NPL women's games at 5 p.m. on Sunday. There's the match of the round. MacArthur Rams versus Northern Tigers, called by the Serbian Martin Tyler Nikola Pozder. Also at 5 p.m. on Sunday, Sydney University versus Sydney Olympic, called by the Professor Melissa Muscat. And Illawarra Stingrays versus Emerging Jets, called by Wollongong Saxboy Thomas Phillips. At 5:10 p.m. from the Arctic Circle, Gladesville Ravens versus Football New South Wales Institute, called by Annabelle Banfield, who will rush there on Sunday after wherever her under-20s game is for Interlions. 6:15 p.m. Sunday, I'll be at Cromer Park to call Manly United versus University of New South Wales. I hope Abby Lemon does many good things at that game. And 7 p.m. Sunday, RPL Leichhardt versus Blacktown Spartans from Lambert Park, home of Sydney's best barista. Into the 90th minute here. Good delivery. And Black got fingertips on that, pushing it wide for a corner. And Olympic had multiple threats, charging in at the back post. Signal. I think that's Ray taking it. Aim back post and here's the header. It's in! It's in! And Olympic look to have won it. A brave, stooping header. And a massive celebration because there could be 3 massive points and a comeback for Sydney Olympic. What a delivery. And it's Sydney Olympic 2, Football New South Wales Institute 1. Oh, they were persistent and the scoreboard going against them. I think it's Aya Yamahata who has scored. She broke free of the Institute defense. She may have scored the winner. We're now in stoppage time. By the way, you don't often see, shout out to the fans of keeper substitutions because Jasmine Black will get a little bit of an early mark. Sophia Fante is now on the field. That means Institute have used their full quota of substitutes. Lisa Warner emptying the bench and straight away, it's good shepherding despite Wyszynski's best efforts. Shepherded out by Oliverio for a corner. And then I must gonna keep me on my toes for the remainder of the game. Please tell me that's Megan Grew, one-time Football New South Wales commentator. See, there's a bit of, shall we say, game management from Priya Siriaga moving off the field slowly. Now that Olympic are 2-1 in front. And I see a number 16. Ivanovic now with Olympic in the ascendancy getting the hurry up. Still trying to figure out who that new player is. That's a strong header and the touch of McHugh, but no chance of that being an intentional back pass. Ivanovic waits and picks it up. And no, it's not going to be a back pass. Rolled out to Yamahata as I keep one eye on this new player. Let's just assume it's Megan Grew because that's what I want to happen. But anyway, doesn't matter because it's full time. Sydney Olympic left it late, but they got the job done in the end, defeating Football New South Wales Institute by 2-1, and it's a big win for their premiership hopes. Institute opened the scoring on 23 minutes. Adelaide Wyszynski found the net after good work in the build-up from Kaylee Talon-Henniker. There was a red card in the first half to Alvina Marie Kashaba, leaving Institute down to 10 players, and in the end, Olympics' strength in numbers told. They equalised in the 73rd minute via Priya Siriaga, and the 90th minute winner was from Aya Yamahata, and that's how we got to where we are. We hope to see you soon on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Plenty of games in the women's comps on Sunday, 7 in NPL Women's and 1 in Football New South Wales League 1 Women's. So certainly plenty of choice here. But for now, and on behalf of Football New South Wales and today's camera operator Nicholas, this is Eric Subiano signing off. Hope you enjoyed the game. Wishing you plenty of good vibes, great coffee, sick tattoos, razzlers, and we hope you stay warm unlike we did this evening. See you next time.